Hello, welcome to chapter 2, that is Python identifiers and operators. So in this chapter, I'll be explaining the names and operations that we perform in Python programs. Fine. Okay, so what is identifier? A name in Python program is called as identifier. Name can be any class, function name, module name, or a variable name. So just let me give you an example. Here, I'm just defining a variable called a with value 10. Also, I can give the name of class, anything, or XYZ class name, and certain functions inside that. Whenever I'm calling that class, that is nothing but an identifier of this particular class. Otherwise, I can also define the function name. Also, I can define an object name. So everything that you are defining in a Python is an object, and whenever you are defining that object a name, it is an identifier, right? So there are certain rules associated with that. So it should be start with uppercase or lowercase. If at all it is starting with underscore, it will be a private one. We will talk about that in coming slides. Identifier should not start with digits. That means 1A or 1 XYZ. This kind of names are not allowed. These are case sensitive. We see an example of it. We cannot use reserved words as identifiers, right? So there are 32 around odd reserved words in Python which we cannot use as identifiers. And also there is no limit, but it is assumed or it is suggested that you should not cross 72 words limit whenever you are defining identifiers. And in Python, we do not use dollar symbol. Okay. So these are the rules associated with identifiers. So in a summary, we can say, so alphabet, symbols, upper lowercase, digits, and underscore are allowed, but 1, 2, 3 total is not allowed. Total 1, 2, 3 is allowed because it is starting with numbers. So whenever it is starting with numbers, it is not allowed. Identifiers are case sensitive. The example is, for example, I am defining a variable with T small and I am defining a variable with T capital. These both will have different values. Whenever you are printing them, it will give a respective outputs. So that means these are case sensitive ones. Okay, so whenever identifier is starting with underscore, it is private. Whenever double underscore, it will be strongly private, or you can also say single underscore is protected one and this is private one. And identifier start with 2 underscore at start and 2 underscore at back and nothing but magic methods. So there are several matching methods that we use in Python. Kind of one will be init magic method, which is used as constructors in your classes. Also, there are different str methods. This is add method. There are different methods which we use as magic methods, right? So this is one of the example where we are using identifiers together to define a code. So this code is to print the area of triangle. For example, one identifier is called as base with value 10. Another one is height with 20. So these are two variables. The third variable I define is area, wherein I am defining as 1 by 2 multiplied by base multiplied by height. So base means it will take the value of 10. Height means it will take the value of 20. So it will be 1 by 2 into 10 into 20. So that means it will be 100. So whenever you are printing, this is our inbuilt print function of Python. So you can say area of the mentioned triangle is, this is the string that you have written. You can change it as per your need, comma, and then value of or a variable. So the value is 100. So 100 will be returned to your output. So this is the way you are using identifiers inside your code. We don't want to have n number of cells wherein you can define the CS as code or markdown. So this is markdown which I have defined, wherein you can just write a text and inside a code block you can write your codes. So if at all you wanted to launch your Jupyter notebook, you have to just go to your repository where you have written the code, or you wanted to write a code, open the command prompt, and inside a command prompt just write Jupyter notebook. So it will open that particular location inside your browser, and there you can open your file. So for example, it has opened that particular folder over here. and we are talking about identifiers and operators. IPYND is an extension to Jupyter Notebook file. So inside that file, you can do your coding stuff. Like how we were discussing, these are the markdowns, these are the codes. Now to run this, you have to just do shift and enter. So this E value will be printed in print function. Now another variable named Python, E123 with value Python, you are printing, it will be giving you output. But now, as we have discussed the rules, if you are starting this variable name with digit first, it should throw an error, right? So I am just commenting out one of the line. To comment it out, you have to just write hash in front of your code. So that line will be commented out and it won't be considered by execution. Now whenever I am executing it, it will be giving output as invalid syntax because 123A is not a valid identifier name. Now this is already an example which we saw. Just to run it out, do shift enter. It will give you an output. Another example is hello world. This is string stored in this value where an identifier I am printing with that particular value. This is another example having almost same character, only B is different. So it will be having a different location and different values. So this example I have highlighted over here. So this is about identifiers. Okay. Now what are operators? Python divide the operations into following groups. There are arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison, logical, identity, membership, and bitwise. We'll see them one by one. So what are arithmetic operations that we are already seen whenever you are doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponential, and floor division. So to perform all these operations, these particular symbols we can use in our coding. And these are the examples of it. We'll see those examples inside our Jupyter Notebook as well. Now to do comparison operations, you have equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, or less than equal to. And these are different examples how the operations are performed. In assignment operations, whenever you are saying x equal to 5, you are assigning this 5 value to x variable, right? When you are dividing plus equal to means whenever you are doing x plus, sorry, I will give example maybe here x plus equal to 3 means x equal to x plus 3. This is same as this, right? So these are assignment operator. Similar way, minus equal to, star equal to. This is just kind of a shortcut to do your this kind of operations. So there are different assignment operators. Then whenever you are saying a membership operation, that means that particular value is present or not. So when it is useful, for example, you have a list of 100 values, right? You do not know exactly what is there inside that, right? So list can have digit, can have strings, it can have n number of values, right? We'll see them in upcoming slides. But if at all you wanted to check one in list, that means this one value is present in this list or not. Whenever you wanted to check, that means it will return a true in the sequence with specified values present in that object. Similarly, not in operations. And logical operation means and, or not. So whenever you are doing comparison in a bitwise comparison. So for example, whenever you are seeing x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, so that AND operation will say if both of these values are satisfying here. Like if these both values are satisfied, then it will give output as a true. Otherwise, it will give output as a false. That are the logical operators. Similar way, we have identifier operator that is given by is or not is not. That means if these are same, return true. If not, then it will return false. And if at all inside your operations or inside your expression, there are multiple operations to be performed. So these are the priorities. First, you need to solve parentheses, then exponential, then unary plus, then multiplication, division, then addition, and then so on. So these are the precedence order in which you have to solve your expression. And then there are certain bitwise operators which we call as AND, or XOR, not, zero left shift or right shift. So we will see these bitwise operations inside our Jupyter notebook as well. So for example, here I have taken two identifiers with two values doing arithmetic operations of addition, subtraction, and then printing them by just giving their values. And whenever I am doing shift enter, it will give me all the operations values. What is 9 plus 4, that is 13, 9 minus 4, that is 5, and so on. Whenever I am doing relational operations, it will just give me what is greater, what is less, what is equal to, right? So output will be in terms of true or falses, like this, right? Whenever I am doing logical operators, it will also do output in terms of true or falses. For example, this is 1. Whenever I am telling logical operators, true is considered as 1, false is considered as 0. Whenever I am printing it out, it will be false, true, and false. Same way, this one more OR example, because whenever I am saying 1 or 1 will be 1. And then bitwise operation means, for example, A is 10, B is 4, it will convert 10 into bitwise 1 and 0s, 4 into 1 and 0 this way. For example, 10 is 1010, 4 is 0100, and whenever I am doing AND operations, that means multiply. So I am just multiplying each of these 1s and 0s, output will be 0. So it should print 0 as a output, right? Whenever I am printing. So whenever I am doing shift and enter, it will be giving output as yes, here see, output is 0. So this way our operations will be performed. Then we have assignment operators. That means whenever we are just assigning and then doing certain operations on it, kind of multiply, addition, right shift and left shift, these are the outputs. And then identity operator, when two values are equal, it will give true, otherwise it will give false. And that identity you are doing verifying with is keyword, is. So this was all the identifiers and operators inside a Python. Get to know what are the different functions that are associated with particular class. You can use a dir method or dir function, which is inbuilt function in Python. For example, with int class, which is inbuilt class in Python, what are the different methods that I can do? What are different operations that I can do? So I will do print dir int. So these are the different operations list. So it will also have str method, will also have init methods. All are these by default operations that we can perform on int class. So the example is, instead of doing add plus operation, we can also use add method. Underscore underscore add underscore underscore is a magical method that we have already seen. So here I am just adding 10 with 5. So output should be 15. So that's the output. So these are all details about identifiers and operations. That's it about this chapter. I will see you in the next chapter.